Mike. It's really good to see you.
Yeah, you too, Larry.
Love, love, love shooting your cars. Every single time, it's such a pleasure. You guys just take these cars that have been built and they've been done over and over again, but just put a different spin on them and update them and modernize them. Just the craftsmanship and the attention to detail is what always blows me away.
Wow, well, that coming from you, that means a lot, because that's, you know, everybody goes, you have a style, but we don't know what the style is. Maybe the detail is what we take pride in, little that people find later on.
I think for me, you know, I'm such a visual person, but I appreciate the mechanical aspect of the cars as well.
Sure.
You know, it's one thing, you being at the SEMA show all the time, and you've seen so many of these vehicles that look the part, but they just don't run. They don't work. And when I'm able to shoot your vehicles, we're always taking them out on the road. We're always doing rolling
And
shots.
they're not even shaken out yet, typically, because you're getting them when they're fresh, because we want you to do it.
We get them early. We get them either before the show or after the SEMA
Exactly. So
show.
it's like there's really no miles on it, but we really try hard to make them. They are drivers. What we build, we want people to drive.
That's the beauty of it. I love that. So what do we have here today?
It's an 87 Grand National that the owner was a big part of it, and that what he wanted. He really wanted to be a V6, and it's a Kenny Duttweiler motor, which if you know anything about motors, which I didn't even know who Kenny was at the time, but then obviously he built all the stuff for the Salt for Troy. He's about 80 years old. So it's a V6 that's pushing 12, well, it dynoed at 1246 on 32 pounds of boost, and Kenny said if you wanted to push 50, you could probably make 1,800, 1,900 horse out of it, out of a V6. It's crazy.
This is, of course, paying tribute to the fact that this originally came with a V6. How many liters is this one?
A 3.8.
What did this originally come from? Is it based off of the original motor?
Yeah, I think it's a one-off, like, you know, billet block that Kenny did with 6-bolt mains in it, and Hogan intake that they made a one-off Hogan for it, and we did all the piping, obviously, and all the intercoolers. It just, the owner was really adamant. We waited about 2 years to get the motor. This is our longest build, at least as far as sitting at the shop, because of trying to get the motor.
Yeah, when I see your builds, it makes me wonder if it's something where, you know, the SEMA crunch, I'm sure you guys feel it too. But when I look at your cars, to me, they feel like they would take longer than a year. Pretty much every one of your builds.
Yeah.
And it's like something in the background getting worked on over time. And once it's time, it gets finished and then it gets released at the show or whatever.
So SEMA has been an exposure that the Ringbrothers have gotten from media all over the world that we feel for a builder, a young builder, that we were at one time to get noticed. We were just like everybody else. We wanted to get to SEMA. We wanted to get somebody to notice us, and so you could do another one. You know, we always need the next one. Everybody thinks, oh, you got a client, you have a list. But what you said is how we are. We don't have 10 cars in the shop. We do 2, 3, focus on them, get them done. You came to our shop, there's not 10 cars laying around. It's just the ones we're working on.
This is perfection though. It's so clean, the cage work, the fact that it just kind of goes into the front, wraps around, like so much goes into making it look like it's pretty simple. I absolutely love it. So then, tell me about the body. Was this a pretty good donor car?
Yeah, it was a real nice car the owner had. Really, the changes that we really did were the front bumpers, made them out of aluminum, and the back bumpers out of aluminum were really the big things, because they were probably the weakest link of these cars. So, and then machine that out of aluminum, make it look like an original bumper guard, but that's aluminum, yeah.
That's aluminum.
Aluminum, the whole bumper is aluminum. And added a spoiler and kept a lot of what the Grand National was as far as interior colors and a different texture, but yet giving it the feel of what the car still was. Because, you know, people love these cars for a reason. You don't really want to reimagine every part of them.
I'm used to seeing them in black because they only came in black, right? But
the owner wanted something
just a little different. This wasn't a Regal.
This is a true Grand National. It's just he didn't want to paint it. And then HRE, this is a wheel they have had. I don't know their number, but I think it was based off a BMW wheel, like an M3 and making them, what's cool about American Muscle is having the deep dish. And I don't know, when I saw the wheel, I was like, that's the wheel for the car. And the owner's like, well, I want, it's got carbon rotors and Brembo brakes. I want to see more of it. I said, they'll find it. We don't need to get it in their face. I really thought this wheel was a good fit for the car.
It looks so good. I also love the fact that every one of your builds has HRE wheels, or at least the ones that I've shot.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they're made in San Diego, in Southern California, and the craftsmanship is second to none, all custom.
They've been amazing partners with us. I can't say enough about them. And we all know they're best wheel company in the world.
Huge Brembo brakes. Yep. So then did you have to tub it to fit this big of a wheel?
Yeah, so the back seat's definitely smaller, but yet retains kind of the feel of the car, the way they were, the color kind of palette that they were. And they're bolstered. Steve at Upholstery Unlimited did it, and he just did an amazing job, bolstered it to kind of give it the feel of the front seats. These were a Recaro that had the really racy, which I just can't, not a fan anyway, but so he took headrests out of actually like a 80s Cutlass and grafted them, changed them, and adapted them to give it still the feel of a Grand National.
So then tell me about the naming process of these vehicles.
This one, I don't even know that the owner wanted an Invader, and I never asked him what the name came from. So this is one of the ones we typically name a lot of them, but sometimes the owner wants, which is cool. But if you look at the name, and when we made it, we actually printed the little turbos in the name of the, we actually got it from Precision, and then we just downsized it enough to.
That's the real 3D CAD file from Precision.
Yes. That we just shrunk it.
This is what I mean. This is the detail. Yeah, this is a Ringbrothers detail that is so, it can be overlooked. But I mean, it just pays tribute to the original logo, right? Of the Grand National. Love that. But I also love the fact that it kind of has this devil horn.
Yeah, the twin turbos, yeah.
Really, really cool. And this is the thing that I feel like your trademark, what I love so much, is when you open the door, you look at the door jamb, you look at where the cage goes in, you look at the door panel, all of this stuff is finished. And this is the stuff that gets overlooked on pretty much every single project car.
Yeah, I mean, it's, the interiors are a hard part to finish. Usually everybody's out of money and nobody's, you know what I mean? It's right. But I do think the interiors have just went crazy good in the last 5 years. But before, it was usually the weakest link, or it had street rod interior or something that wasn't really thought out. I thought for the vehicle it was and what you wanted to maintain.
Look at this, the materials, the usage of some original parts, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, most of this is original. I just took them off, took the chrome off, put the carbon, made carbon instead, and just really retained a lot what you don't have to change things just because you need to change them. I mean, people like these cars for a reason.
And then the dash, original but redone.
Correct.
Love the cage, how tucked it is, this halo looking thing here. Amazing. All of this underside detail, so cool. Back seats all finished, center console. So then what transmission is this?
This is a Tremec 6-speed in here.
Yeah, because these only came in automatic. What did you do to clean up?
The dash we wrapped and we put Dakota digital gauges, but believe it or not, the surround is the original one that I painted. Got rid of the chrome. Same with here. I just took the original piece and painted and took off and just inset carbon. It was really simple, honestly, on this car. It's not like I tried to. Right. I hate to use the word I, but what we tried to do is.
I love the gauges so much. You got the logo on the wheel.
Yeah, we actually made the wheel. It's one of our carbon hoops that we took, but I wanted to pay homage to the steel, stainless steel, the way the Grand National was,
Yeah.
So Trunk's cool. This car's got air jacks on it, and it's also...
Wait, why does it have air jacks?
He wanted air jacks. You know, some people have... So this thing shoots up about a foot off the ground and change your tire.
Wait, so you could go to the track, put on slicks?
Yeah, just shoot it up.
Wait, but it's funny because it's integrated. It's not like you're taking it to a racetrack and you put a bottle into it.
This is good for like 5 lifts before you got to recharge it. This is for the boost to keep, you know, pressure on the spring depending on how much you want to turn up the wick.
Because so this is capable of more than 1,200?
It's capable of 18.
Unbelievable.
At 50 pounds, Kenny says it'll make 18. We all know it's not usable, but it's got Cup 2 tires on and they're big, but it ain't gonna hold that.
The cage goes all the way back here. It ties into the rear end here. This is how we're able to get clean video and stills of all the cars that we're shooting. But check it out, typesauto.com. You can change the color temperature. It's RGB. And yeah, there's a cool bracket you can put on top of a hot shoe, or cold shoe. Check it out. Say it again. Say it again.
Can I get you to come apply some light to the exhaust here for me, sir?
You need light? I got light for you right now.
No, other way. There we go.
Okay.
Wow, look at that exhaust.
Where is it?
That's what.
Oh my God!
That's what I'm saying.
That's the exhaust?
That's the exhaust.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's like that on both sides.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's kind of. There's a little lot.
Cool. Oh,
This is cool.
yeah, it's super cool.
Looks like it has BMW DS1s on it. Like a stock 95 M3
I think
wheel.
that's what
yeah.
their intention was.
Yeah.
I think that's what their intention was.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah. No, it looks super cool.
Grand National. It's like a gray. It's not a stock.
You should have
car.
brought your Ferrari, man.
I was gonna drive it out.
Why didn't you?
I had no one to drive it with, and it's kind of a boring drive.
Don't.
So
Come on.
it's a boring drive. It's the
Boring
15
drive.
for 4 hours.
So bored in my Ferrari alone.
It's got no radio.
Ah.
And yeah, I already drove it to Colorado. Highway stuff is boring. But yeah, I was gonna drive it out, but I didn't. Out.
Good to see you as always.
Yeah, what are you doing now?
I don't know. I'm just gonna look for more cars to shoot. That's what I do.
Okay, sick. Well, enjoy.
All
My whole team left me, so I'm gonna leave.
Bye.
Yeah.
Did the owner, like, were they along for the entire process?
He's a good guy, but he's a tough guy, and he wants to. His vision is not what this car turned out to be. He wanted it really super racy and race seats and a digital dash, and you know it's like I just won't do it.
Yeah, because I'm assuming there's those owners that are kind of hands off. They let you and your brother and your team do what you are known for doing.
Right.
And then there's some that are like, oh, I need it this way, I need it that way. No.
And then you got to say, you know, you got to trust us a little bit. You came to us because you like what we do, but if we're real adamant, we can kind of. I don't mean to be rude, but it's like, man, I think you're making a mistake. I mean, and there was a lot of that, but you know, to hear him today, seeing it for the first time, and how grateful he was to push back at times.
He sees other people's reactions and appreciates.
I think he did today.
I think that's a big draw, but I have a question. If somebody were to come to you with a build and they would say that you weren't allowed to show it at SEMA, is that something that you would be okay to
No,
do?
that wouldn't. We've done that. I mean, there's builds out there that we haven't done, but yeah, it's not about. Obviously, we still need the next one, right? We're not. I mean, I think a lot of people think builders are rich, like the owners of the cars, right? That's not. We can't afford what we build. So when people say, "Oh, it's too much," you don't have to apologize to me. I can't afford it either, right? So it does take a special client, and we need the next one. So if they said I don't want it, then that's fine. Obviously, we like to brag. I mean, how do I get Larry Chen to come and see my stuff unless I bring it to him? You know.
I mean, but that's part of the fun to me.
Yeah.
That's part of like becoming a part of SEMA history, Ringbrothers lore. Like you're like part of the timeline, you know, because you're contributing to you guys learning new techniques, trying out new things, maybe changing the hot rodding and tuning world little by little. You know, I think it's super cool. I really look forward to every single build, every single year, just because of the history of what you guys have done already. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm being honest, you know.
Like you said, we're just a snippet in time, and you think of the Boyds and all those people. to have you say that we contribute to this industry is pretty cool.
Well, okay, I'll say this. The difference is a lot of the builds that you guys do, a little more relatable to my generation, I feel like. A little more relatable, and also most of the builds I can appreciate in that I could see myself driving this.
Yeah,
like I would be cruising in this. All the right turbo noises. It just has that look. From the outside, body-wise, you guys really didn't change much.
We changed like this angle here.
Okay.
Made the bumper, you know, like I said, all this is just hand aluminum with the machine. You know, we kind of took this, even though this is just manually machined and then bent it, and then just added these pieces, welded them in, so it kind of looked like the rubber original. But you know, the cars it didn't need a big ground effects and splitter. He wanted a big splitter, and I said, I am not putting a big splitter on this car. I want
a pretty mild looking one.
Kind of what they had. It just didn't jump up in the middle like this, but.
I see the intercooler a little poking out here a little bit, really subtle, all blacked out. Love the 4 square headlight look so much. So is this a carbon fiber?
No, that's a stock hood.
Okay.
And this is out of a ATS-V Cadillac.
This design?
Oh, just this, and then I designed, you know, I actually just sunk it in at first, and Gary Rago, our designer, was like, you need to bump it up. You need to make it look a little bit, you know. Right. And then if you look real close, I painted, this is this color matted, but right here, I did this little bit in black, and then matted it, so it's like, does that come up, or is it actually, it just gave it a little more effect.
I love it. Invader, really cool build. Thank you so much for walking us through it.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Thank you so much. We'll check out some of your other builds.
Yeah, absolutely.